Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Creation Disclosure, and welcome to day 2 of our Vlogmas sort of series for the holidays. So until December 25th, Tuesday till Friday, I will be dyeing 1 or 2 colors from my winter collection, and I will be highlighting another small business to give you ideas for the fiber artists in your life that might like a nice present from you. So we are going to be highlighting Lemonwood. I don't think they need introduction that much, but they make those little thing here so you can put your yarn ball here, and then that you will be able to knit or crochet as you go. If you are in Canada and you would prefer to purchase from a Canadian business, Elisa from Her Leather Co. also makes yarn minders like this. She is a leather artist in the Calgary area, so I will have also her website and all the information in the description box below if you are interested. So today we are going to be doing my hot cocoa and gingerbread colors, so let's get into this. And we're back for another one where we are doing the entire collection of the winter collection. But today we're going to do 2 colors. So we're going to do 2 tonals. One of them is my hot chocolate color, and the other one is gingerbread cookie. So gingerbread cookie is a little bit more complicated in the sense that I'm doing my own mix to create the color I want. So the first thing we're going to do is do our stock solution. What is the stock solution? It is the wet version of the dry powder. So it's when we mix our dry pigment with water to create a stock solution. Oh man, my words are not wording nicely today apparently. So before anything, you need to make sure that you're wearing a respirator so you don't breathe the dry powder. So it doesn't have to be this brand, but please wear something that will make sure that you don't breathe the fine particles, because we only have 1 pair of lungs and it's important to protect them. So let's do this. Okay. So I'm going to need my color here, and always make sure that your scale is at 0 before doing anything, because we need to ensure that we are as accurate as possible. And if it's not at 0 when you're starting your measurement, it's not going to be very accurate. Okay, this is good. So now we need to do the other one. Oops, I'm so sorry. I kicked you by accident. Okay, and now since I need a very tiny bit of the black, I will be using my tiny scale. So I don't need a whole lot. And I just want to make sure that I have the right quantity, because if I have too much, it's going to make a huge difference and it's not going to look the way I want it to look. There we go. That's good. And it's the same thing with this one. We always want to make sure that it is at the rate that it is zeroed out before pouring any dry powder in there. Okay, so now that this has been wet, now that it's wet, I can remove my respirator and we can hear me a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure we don't have any clumps. So I always wet this thing after using it to make sure that I've removed all fine particle, because sometimes it doesn't look like there is any particles of dry powder, but there is. I don't know if I didn't watch the camera at that point. I don't know if you've actually seen it, but it was black when I've poured the water on it. So it's going to be very pretty. Ooh, I should do a color, because do you remember? I don't know if you had that, but there was this chocolate, this orange chocolate. So it was a huge orange light, and you would bang it on either a wall or at the table. And when you open it, like it was like an orange, and you could have all the little individual orange slice. Do you remember that? I don't. Uh, so I should do a color with that. That would be super cool. Okay. Yes, I will do that. Orange chocolate. That's such a good idea. Okay, to be added because I wanted to expand the collection anyways. So that's perfect. Okay. Sorry about the rambling. Let's get into the pots. Okay, so let's do this. This is one. This is two. Okay, just where's my spoon here? There we go. So I'm just going to grab, making a mess as usual. Okay. Okay. So I'm being careful here because I have non-superwash yarn, so I don't want to felt it. And this is a BFL Masham blend. So it's 100% wool, but it's two different type of wool, coming from two different sheep, and it's a fingering weight. So this is going. I am very curious to see how it's going to turn out color wise. It's going to be very pretty no matter what. I know for sure. I've worked with that blend before, and I kind of really enjoyed the muted tone the yarn would take. I'm just curious to see how it's going to turn out. And I don't want to felt it. But the one thing that I really enjoy with non-superwash yarn is that because it takes a little longer for the color to strike the yarn, just due to the fact that it's more water resistant than superwash, usually it's easier to have an even coverage of the yarn. So I'm going to wait about 15 to 20 minutes before adding the citric acid in those, simply because it takes longer for the for the water to reach the right temperature when we have such a high volume in here. So we will see each other in a little bit. So see you. Hello again, friends. So let's add our citric acid over here. So citric acid wise, I would recommend, well, the rule of thumb is usually 1 tablespoon per pound of yarn, or 454 grams. We have 200 grams of yarn here, so like 2 teaspoon, and you should be good for those kinds. Oh yeah, so I guess 1 teaspoon per skein would be a good rule of thumb to help you out. Huh? Who knew? I should have known because I usually do that. Anyways, so now that it's here, I'm going to wait for the water to reach between 85 to 95 Celsius. And once we've reached that temperature, we are going to have a 30 minutes countdown for the cooking process. And after that, we're going to turn off the heat and let it cool completely before washing off any excess dye. So I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes, and as you can see, my brown, there's still color in here, but we are not like fully there yet for the 85 to 95 Celsius, but you can see that we have a good color penetration here, which is great. And here for our gingerbread, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's like I would say it's almost all in the yarn now. So I'm going to let it on the stove for another 30 minutes to make sure that we get, because we're almost at the right temperature. I can see that we have the steam coming off, so very soon I should see the bubbles. So after the 30 minutes, I'm going to turn off the heat, and then we're going to wait for this to be completely cooled off before washing it off. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will see you when it's time to wash off the excess dye. So apparently I forgot to press record. So we are currently trying to work this excess dye from my chocolate brown, from my hot chocolate brown color here, and as you can see we have some bleeding. So, but I forgot to press record, so let just know that I've waited 15 minutes with this in the bath to try to remove as much excess dye in the first go. Yeah, super fun. And I can see that we still have some excess dye. You know, sometimes you should call it quit, right? Okay, so I'm going to still let it soak in here for a little bit, and I'm going to try to recap a little bit what I was saying earlier. So earlier what I said was that we could see a tiny bit of color in the dye bath, in the pot, but it was not enough that I could use that excess dye from that it hasn't been exhausted um, from the dye bath to dye something else. There was not enough color for that, so we just like threw it away, unfortunately. This is something that I try to avoid. Usually with excess colors in the water, I try to use it and dye something else, and those go in my $25 bins at market and stuff like that, because I really dislike wasting color and wasting pigment. And sometimes we have such beautiful colors created that way. Okay. It's probably going to need a little bit more work. So I think I'll clean up. So I will let it soak once more. And after that, should be good. There's already like I can see in the corners over here and there that there's less color than when we did the first one. So okay, I'm going to let this cool off. Not cool off. I'm going to let it soak and we'll come back. Okay. We're pretty. I think we're almost clear off completely, but there's still a hint of color. So what I think I'll do, I think I'm going to do one last soak, and after that I think we'll be good to go and we'll be able to do my gingerbread cookie color. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, I'm going to stop touching you and let you do your thing. Okay, I think we're good. And now I know that gingerbread cookie will be bleeding. So that's just life. It's just due to the nature of what I use to dye it. Okay. But we don't have color in the water, so this is always nice. It's always something I like to see. Okay, so we're going to be doing the same thing. I will let it in the bath to soak for about 15 minutes, and we're going to come back in and we're going to be working on that. Okay, so what do you look like? Okay, I was expecting some bleeding. We don't have any bleeding. Hooray! That was fantastic. So it's going to go into my spin dryer. And then what we're going to do is once it has removed all excess water, we're going to let it dry overnight, and I will see you tomorrow for the result. Bye. And here's the final result for our hot cocoa and gingerbread colorway. I think they're really nice complementary colors. There's a warmth to both of them that is really super pretty. This one turned a little more orange than what it was supposed to be, so I am unsure if it's just because of the yarn base used. Who knows? I'm not 100% sure, because I feel like it should have been pretty similar, but it might be the masham in it that made it seems a little bit more orange. Sometimes some yarn bases will pull on some colors a little bit more than others, and some colors will just like show more just because of if it's more on the creamy side or white or gray color undertone, just due to the natural fiber content. So who knows? If you've liked the video, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you next one very soon. Bye.